The league teams, evil legends collide. If the Cowboys fall short, we'll still ride the tide. Like Jordan in the clutch or Brady's last play, we bring the fire, keeping fans in the fray. Coach Gio and Marie calling the shots, with Derek Gervin straight Hall of Fame thoughts. So hit that subscribe, don't sit on the bench. Get in the game, every highlight's intense. The live stream's on, tell your friends don't delay. Like Kobe in the fourth, we're here to play. Sweep the League TV, where greatness resides. From the blogs at the drive, till the odds on the rise. We're all in on sports, NBA, CFB, and more for fans. Live fans, it's the show you'll adore.
All right, Sweep the League Nation. Welcome to Sweep the League, a very important breaking news episode of Sweep the League. Not going to waste any time. As you can see, De'Aaron Fox is a San Antonio Spur per Shams Charania. The deal did go through earlier today. Sorry, I was on the road. But the full trade, just to give you a background here, the Spurs are getting De'Aaron Fox, Jordan McLaughlin. Kings getting Zach LaVine, City Sissoko, 3 first-round picks. Get into those picks here in just a little bit. 3 second-round picks. The Bulls are the third team, a part of the deal, getting Zach Collins, Trey Jones, Kevin Huerter, and their own 2025 pick back via from the San Antonio. So it has already become official. I know the past couple of days have been hectic and crazy. Again, I'm getting phone calls, obviously, from Derek Gervin, part of Sweep the League Network, and him saying, we called this back in 7 months ago before the draft. We had been calling it for a while. We knew it was going to happen. We just didn't know when. We didn't know if it was trade deadline or off season. Did happen at the trade deadline. Surprising was that the Spurs were able to keep all of their assets, basically. And when I say assets, you're talking Stephon Castle, Devin Vassell, Keldon Johnson, Jeremy Sohan, Chris Paul, Harrison Barnes, a lot of the guys that are on the team already that figured would be involved in a deal somewhere. They're all staying in San Antonio. Basically, the Spurs' best player they gave up was Trey Jones. City Sissoko, obviously a great player, up-and-coming type of player. But Trey Jones, let's be real, probably the best guy out of all three to be traded from San Antonio. But nonetheless, De'Aaron Fox is a San Antonio Spur. Officially, Zach LaVine will play for the Kings. Is this it for the Spurs? Going to kind of talk about that at the end of the show here because, in talks with a couple of other guys behind the scenes here, there's a couple of things you got to keep in mind here. They may be done already. They may not be done already. But the key to a lot of this is they kept players that were supposed to be involved in this deal, potentially because another deal may be in the works. Plus, the key part of it was keeping those 2 picks for the 2025 draft. They kept their own pick. Most importantly, they kept Atlanta's pick, who, as mentioned, with Jalen Johnson going down for the year, Trey Jones, he can't do it himself. Right now, Atlanta's still trying to get Brandon Ingram, but if that doesn't go through, where Brandon Ingram becomes a Hawk, you're looking at the same Atlanta team, and they probably will be going way down on the Eastern Conference rankings, which means that 2025 pick, again, is gold for the San Antonio Spurs. What happens to that pick if it becomes a lottery pick? We're going to break it down for you here in just a little bit. We're only going to be here for like 20 minutes for not very long, so just give us a little bit of time. We're going to have more coverage of this throughout the week. We'll be back on Tuesday, hopefully with Derek Gervin and Coach Gio as well. We are off on Monday, so again, we're going to break down as much as we can for you in here. Appreciate everybody joining us on the stream. So what do you want to talk about? Chris Gonzalez, we're obviously talking about, the De'Aaron Fox trade that just happened a few hours ago. Something happened. Yeah, definitely. Jacob Eric just need another big. Get in that here in just a little bit as well. So Appreciate you guys joining on. Let's break it down here for a little bit. So obviously, as you can tell on the on the screen in front of you, the biggest pieces: Zach LaVine as a king. Spurs get De'Aaron Fox. Bulls are just basically they're. I mean, tanking is obviously what's going to be happening for the Bulls. I mean, you still. I mean, they're still going to make some moves. Let's be real. They're still going to make some moves. The Chicago Bulls getting their 2025 pick via back from San Antonio. No big deal at all. No big deal at all. So, that's going to be huge for the Chicago Bulls to get that 2025 pick because now they get it back no matter where they fall in the draft right now. But when it comes to the other teams, let's get the other comments in here. We got a bunch of comments coming in. Bro, we just about giving up Castle, Devin, Jeremy, or Keldon. Huge W for us. I agree with you on that 100%. Major W because throughout the process, Devin Vassell and Stephon Castle were the centerpieces around any type of deal involving De'Aaron Fox. What made sense is because Sacramento wanted younger talent, wanted a star, not a superstar, a star in return. They knew they weren't going to get Stephon Castle from the Spurs already. I know for us here at Sweep the League, we had said Stephon Castle would be the reason why this was held up. For the most part, it was. Stephon Castle, Sacramento wanted Stephon Castle super, super bad. You don't blame the guys for trying. You do not blame the guys for trying. Did the Luka deal last night affect a whole lot of trades? Yeah, I mean, you're showing that you can give up a MVP caliber type of player and not get a whole lot in return for him. Not really downgrading Anthony Davis. At the end of the day, on the Maverick and the Laker deal, I'll be honest with you, it's about even. I don't feel the Mavericks got screwed in the deal at all. They're getting Anthony Davis. Kyrie is still there. Klay Thompson. Let me kind of talk to you a little bit about the Mavericks stuff right here. Is this the Mavericks needed a defensive caliber player that can mesh with the team. They needed another big man. Imagine PJ Washington, Derek Lively, Anthony Davis. That's a great trio. Davis goes to the 4, his natural position, playing the 4. The pick and roll with Kyrie and Anthony Davis, chef's kiss. It's going to make a lot of problems for everybody in the West, that pick and roll right there. Also, Klay Thompson. You're going to have to imagine this. Klay is going to have a lot more open three-point looks because of that pick and roll, because of Davis, and because of Kyrie. Mavericks got good overnight with that trade. Luka Doncic, defensively, never was going to be good. Luka Doncic holds the ball a whole lot in that offense. Have y'all ever noticed that by the time he actually starts to make his move and go, or even goes for a jump shot, there's about 8 or 7 seconds on the shot clock? That's a very terrible team chemistry type of player right there. I'm not saying Luka's terrible as a player. Great player. He puts up MVP numbers. But in the team concept of basketball, I mean, he has the ball for at least 15 seconds before anything gets done. Go run some pick and rolls. He's still dribbling, 100 times. It's like James Harden syndrome. So the Mavericks did get better adding Anthony Davis. Then you got the Lakers, Luka. I mean, they're going to build around Luka. Are the Lakers done making moves? Probably not. You're going to probably see a lot more deals being made 100% here. Mavs win now mode, Lakers win future mode. Exactly. The Mavs are winning now. They want to win now. Huge move for the Dallas Mavericks. Huge there for Dallas. Eddie Ray Brown right off the top rope. See what I did there? Yeah. It's just kind of like a Joe Hendry type thing. You say his name and he appears. Well, I mean, Brian Wright, we were saying De'Aaron Fox. You say his name and he appears. So De'Aaron Fox is a San Antonio Spurs. Joining me tonight is going to be Coach Gio here. Let's go ahead and bring him on. Like I said, we're going to be on about 20, 22 minutes here. So let's bring on Coach Gio. The coach, hey man, so hey, I mean, you for once was there. Derek was calling it. We were calling it back before the draft that Fox would be here. We just didn't know when. News came out today. Sham said, hey, trade's been done. It's finalized. Fox in San Antonio. What are your thoughts on the Fox deal, man?
Love the trade, Rudy. About damn time. This franchise, look, you get Wemby. Mm-hmm. You had that disastrous year, right? A lot of things working against you, but you keep building. You start adding pieces. And Rudy, they didn't have to give up nothing. I mean,
zero.
In this trade. You keep Castle, a guy who's improving by the day. Vassell's still there. Keldon Johnson, I mean, you keep him. I mean, really, it's kind of the perfect storm. And now you look at the second half of the season. I'm not saying they're going to be flat out in the playoffs, but they have a golden opportunity to potentially catch fire. I love the trade for the Spurs. He's from Texas. He wants to be there. And I'm just going to continue to build off of this. Kudos to the Spurs. I mean, we saw what the Lakers had to do, and obviously the Mavericks. We could talk about that in a few, but
yeah,
to basically give up nothing. LaVine now goes to Sacramento. Does he want to be there? I don't know. It's Sacramento, but kudos to the Spurs and right up there. I mean, really, we thought they would have to give up something, but to give up zero?
Well, I mean, and for those of y'all out there, I mean, I don't have it. No, I don't have it anymore. But the deal that we had talked about them having to make was probably Stephon Castle, Keldon Johnson, 2025 Atlanta pick. I mean, this is stuff that Sacramento, especially Stephon Castle, I mean, they valued and they wanted Stephon Castle so bad. The Luka Doncic trade last night couldn't have come at a better time, because now it's like, what do you value De'Aaron Fox at? Well, I mean, they basically got everything that they could for De'Aaron, but kudos to the Bulls for jumping in, because Sacramento feels like they got a star to continue their winning ways with DeMar DeRozan, Sabonis, Malik Monk, and also Keegan Murray. Now you're throwing Zach LaVine. That's still a competitive Kings franchise right there. They don't have to give up any picks. And as a matter of fact, they're getting picks in return for De'Aaron Fox. So I think this is a win-win-win scenario for all teams involved. But you're right, not giving up anything for De'Aaron Fox. Gio, I don't know. When I saw this, I actually tweeted at Shams, and I'm like, are you sure they didn't give up any 2025 picks? Because the moment I saw it, this hit my head. I texted Derek, and I was thinking, like, I don't think the Spurs are done, because now you can potentially still move Keldon, still move Devin, still move that 2025 pick to go get. And I'm just saying this, for out there, there's a team out there that wants a first round pick. You have two. That's Toronto. Why not go get Jakob Poeltl and bring him back to San Antonio? Because then you can move Wemby to that 4 position, pick and roll. You have one of the best pick and roll guys in Toronto and Jakob Poeltl. That's just the move I would make next. But do you think that they're done this season and maybe they're going to come more in the offseason? It's hard to say with everything that they were saving on this Fox pick.
It's hard to say, Rudy. So much is going on. I mean, Rudy, the bomb dropped last night, right? Like, I'm literally getting ready for bed, and I'm looking at my phone. I said, wait a minute. What? What just happened? But this Spurs team, I mean, to do what they did, basically give up nothing. Now you can say, well, are they done? Can they go out there and get someone else on the market that maybe we don't even know about?
Yeah.
Potentially this team could really set themselves up for success. Or Rudy, you keep that pick, right? I mean, you could definitely keep it, see what actually happens, get another young guy in there. But the Spurs right now, at the moment, house money, and obviously barring any injuries, I'm excited to see the second half of the season for what the Spurs can do.
Now, I'm gonna piss on Spurs, celebration right now, and I'm gonna say right now, let's not think they're contenders right this second.
No.
The possibility's there. I mean, anything can happen in the playoffs. The possibility's there. I'm not pissing on the parade. I'm not raining or whatever on that. I'm just saying the thing is this. They're better, a lot better. They're minimum play-in, probably playoff is what I'm thinking. But contender-wise, I don't have them in that contender spot until next year.
Yeah.
Because you still got to get the adjustment period. Honestly, the only way I bump them up to slight contender position is if Pop comes back. I can't trust Mitch Johnson on the rotation just yet. You got a lot of great players on this team already. You're adding Fox. Is CP3 gonna, accept a certain role? There's a lot of questions still to be answered. So I don't have them in that contender spot yet. I do have them minimum, like I said, play in, more than likely playoff. What do you think about that?
Yeah, Rudy. I mean, I'm not championship or bust. No. Let's not go too far down the train. But look, this is a team that Rudy could definitely make. I could definitely see playoffs. There's definitely an opportunity here. They're still in the mix for that playing game, and could they go on a hot streak, a hot run where they get in and they make some noise? Certainly possible with Fox, but like you said, Rudy, the team has to gel, right? You're bringing in a guy, Rudy, who's averaging 25 points a game. He
Yeah.
has a ball a lot in his hands. Now things are going to change because you obviously got that big footer in the middle there. So not sure what to make, what's going to happen, as you said, rotation sense, but I think this is a good start, right? Rudy, a good start. Can't wait to see what happens throughout the season. But playoffs, sure, but playoffs, like championship, like no, I don't want to. Spurs fans, please don't do this to yourself. Just start with baby steps and let's get through the offseason. See what the Spurs.
Don't talk about playoffs. You kidding me? Playoffs?
So, I was in the Kroger, Rudy, which is a grocery store here, and I was just pumped. I'm like,
You
man,
got a Kroger over there?
Yeah, we do.
We miss Kroger's in San Antonio. We used to have them.
Well, don't you have HEB, Rudy? Isn't that kind of the
HEB put everybody out of business. We had Kroger, we had Handy Andy, Albertsons. You remember Albertsons?
Yes, I just remember Albertsons in Florida.
I get what you're saying. That's the thing. Playoffs, I think playoffs are right there. I mean, we had them, I know I did. I had them at 30 wins, but on the high end, 35. And I think that's what Derek had them as well. The De'Aaron Fox puts him into that 39 minimum, 45 right around there, which again should be play in position wise. Playoff wise, I think it still needs to see what happens for the rest of the Western Conference.
Well, Rudy, think about this. Let's say they get in. Let's say they're the 7th seed. Who's the 2 seed right now? Is it the Houston Rockets?
That's the Houston Rockets, yeah.
With a Rocket team with what? Really no damn experience in the postseason. Could the Spurs shock the world and win that first round? Sure, right? Depending on the matchups, who you play, when you play them, that all factors in to the postseason. But like you said, man, if they get that 40-win total, 45, I mean, who knows? I mean, we saw last year what the Mavericks did, right? Rudy had a kind of a run there, and, they ran into what the buzzsaw was, the Boston Celtics. But
yeah,
anything's possible. In the words of, what was that, Kevin Garnett?
Yeah. HEB, Walter White, Kroger out of town. Basically, yeah. That's basically what happened here to Kroger in San Antonio. More comments in here. Fat Man and Little Boy NBA trades within 2 days. That's a fact. I say we went from 34 wins to 39 to 40 wins. We got Spurs Hoops in here. He's dropping comments. Good opportunity for us to make the play-in and get these young guys some playoff experience. Exactly. I think play-in is minimum. We're definitely trading upward 100%. This had to be done. Vucevic is another opportunity. Vucevic, that's another great thing to look forward to. Play an opportunity to get that first round experience, build a little more in the off season. And that's what I'm saying. I'm not looking at this as contenders. I'm celebrating to a point. I mean, you can't celebrate about this, right away. I'm glad he's here in San Antonio. But I feel like I look at the roster. I don't see very many holes in there, but I know there's something missing.
Oh, I mean,
and it's a big man. Obviously, it's another big man. But outside of the big man position, I just feel like, man, there's something missing somewhere around here.
Solid all the way across, Rudy. But we talked about in the last episode, if they ever want to win a championship, obviously you're gonna have more pieces added into the fold. But for right now, I love the Fox trade. If Rudy, it's possible they do something else, and we sat back and we're like, oh,
I think so. You and I are saying it. I think there's another move, and I think Derek would agree with that too. There's another move, probably not now, but probably in the off season. And I hate. We're not the type of guys that sweep the league to go off speculation, to go off at this and that. We talk about everything that we feel will happen, and it does happen a lot of times because we like talking about it. But I'm going to tell you this. There's a guy that I mentioned a while back, and he plays in Milwaukee. He made it clear that if he's not going to win in Milwaukee, he wants to go to a place where he can win. Now, rumors are out there, a lot of rumors about, Giannis is going to test free agency in a couple of years. I think it's 2026 is when he's a free agent. So there's one team that's gearing up to really amp for Giannis, and that's Oklahoma City. I really think, and I'm talking to a couple of people, nobody important, so there's no sources or anything, but people that are a part of the game and all that have played the game. Oklahoma City is one team to look at for Giannis, but knowing you didn't give up anything for Fox and you've got all these draft picks you can still play with, I mean, that could be a name to look at too later. Eddie's saying Markkanen's another name. The Jazz are going to want to sell off a lot eventually. So,
well, Danny Ainge is always, it seems like he's always selling, right? It's just,
well, Danny Ainge wants picks, something that the Spurs have, and young talent, something that the Spurs have.
I wouldn't be against marking out. Yeah, there's a lot of guys potentially who could be on the market. No Jimmy Butler. I'm just not at Jimmy Butler headspace, but
No.
a lot of potentials out there. And we saw last night, Rudy. I mean, literally anything's possible. We saw Luka going to the Los Angeles Lakers. I mean,
why do you think I always tell you guys don't be married to a player? You take, and how much shit do I get all the time when I said I would take phone calls on Tim Duncan? I mean, everybody laughs and everybody, oh, you're an idiot. Come on, you take calls on everybody. Doesn't mean you have to do it, but you take calls on everybody. Roll your eyes. But they took a call on Luka and Anthony Davis.
There's a price for everyone, Rudy. I mean, we've
Exactly.
seen trades in the past. We've seen
everyone.
There's a price for anything. If you would have given the Spurs 10 first-round draft picks, it's possible they trade to Timmy or even something less than that. But look, Luka and I, Rudy, I mean, there was some bit of seemed like complaints. His weight was what I think it was 270. Rudy, he's got to bring that down. I don't
more
see
than me, bro.
why it's logical right now for him to be at that weight. He's been hurt. They had the press conference. Jason Kidd didn't look too happy from what I saw, the body language wise. If healthy, Anthony Davis provides a big boost to that team, obviously, and definitely in the post and shot ability. But Rudy, what does this do for the I mean, does it change anything about the Mavericks?
Yeah. Hell yeah. Because you go from Luka, who didn't play defense, who held the ball in his hand for 15 seconds out of the shot clock, didn't make a move till 8 seconds on the shot clock. And even at that, when he got in trouble, he was passing it to Clay, Kyrie, or anybody with 3 on the shot clock. And here you shoot it and you look like a fool.
So maybe a better question. Can they win the championship?
Dallas?
Yeah.
Healthy? I would say that they're in the talk.
Okay.
If everybody stays healthy, because you're with Kyrie, Clay, Anthony Davis, Derek Lively already. So Davis, who's already a defensive, a good defensive player, doesn't necessarily have to be roaming the basket. Lively's your defensive guy. Then you have Gafford, you have PJ Washington.
Yeah.
I mean, the bigs in Dallas are set. But imagine this, Joe. Basketball like everybody else does here. The pick and roll between Kyrie and Anthony Davis.
Oh no, it's going to be phenomenal. I mean, you get this guy
Exactly.
who is a stat machine with the Lakers, and you put him with this team now with Kyrie. I do think along the lines, I definitely think they could beat Oklahoma City in a 7-game series. I definitely could see them beating other teams in a 7-game series. I think the question is really can they stay healthy enough? Can they stay healthy enough? That's the question. If everyone's at 100% heading into a series on the road at Denver, I see no reason why this team could not, compete and get back to the finals and potentially win it. But for right now, I think, someone says, who won the trade? Well, we just need to wait and see. I just think it's just too early to tell. Because what happens if Luka gains another 40 pounds, Rudy? I mean, It's gonna be like unplayable.
Well, I don't. Okay, so I mean, I know we're supposed to be talking about De'Aaron Fox. We talked a lot about De'Aaron already, but on the Luka part is this: I saw so many people, Gio, all the people in the world tweeting out and everything. You know, the Mavericks got fleeced, and how do you trade Luka? And you see all the players. I can't believe Luka got traded. Well, it's a business. You believe it? If you make this a business and not about feelings, then guess what? A lot of good moves are going to be made, and a lot of big time players are going to be gone. So that should prove that right there. But at the same time, when Luka's an MVP caliber player, he's coming up for a max deal, which Dallas screwed him out of a max deal, a super max deal by trading him. You don't want to pay you don't want to pay the max deal. Why? Because when he doesn't really put the effort to keep in shape, when he kind of slows down your offense, when you've got guys like Kyrie and Lively who want to play fast pace and stuff, it just doesn't seem like you're going to get any more out of Luka than what you're expecting. So if I'm new ownership, why the hell am I going to pay you $350 million? I'm not going to give you that extension. Hell no. I mean, to me, that's not good at all. So at the end of the day, I mean, it's a good move by Dallas. Saves them money. And you know what? It's a Laker win later, a Maverick win now move. That's basically what it is.
Yeah.
The Luka's the new face of the Lakerland.
Yeah. And if he can get to somewhat playoff shape, definitely see them kind of making a run. But I don't know. The Lakers, I mean, really, right now they sit at, I believe, the 5th seed in the West. So, I mean, they could take a step back before they go forward, right? Because obviously, Luka, his weight, injuries, LeBron's going to be out there. He has a pretty decent team, but I mean, time will tell. But just imagine a Spurs-Laker first-round matchup. I mean, that'd be real fun to watch. Just like the old days.
Well, I can tell you right now, they would get out-rebounded quick. The Lakers have no big men, period. So which I really think that more moves you're going to see. I really think that the Lakers are still going to go get a big man. You're probably looking at maybe Nick Claxton. They could possibly trade for a Jakob Poeltl. Miles Turner's on the block, so the Lakers have always been rumored for Miles Turner. That could happen right there. Do I think Miles Turner fits with Luka and LeBron? I really don't at all. The best player would be Jakob Poeltl for the Lakers. Keeping Luka and LeBron off pick and rolls, that would make them better. But I don't know.
They're both high usage guys. I mean, Luka demands the ball a lot. So it's going to be interesting how they fit, Rudy, with this team.
Crazy they don't.
To see how it kind of works. I'm not sure yet, at least for this season. Long-term success, obviously, Luka, he does what he has to do. He'll be fine. But as of this season, it's going to be interesting how this team kind of mixes up before the postseason.
I don't know. I can't. I'm questioning why the Lakers even did it, but
right, at least right now, maybe off season, okay, but right now, Rudy, when your team is fifth and you have an opportunity to continue to climb, now you kind of, before you go forward, you're probably going to take a few steps back.
Yeah,
it's just kind of logical. This is with a new player coming in, and Rudy, how many games has Luka been out?
I can actually look it up right quick here, but I know it's been a few games already that he's been out.
So only time will tell. But a big pickup though for the Spurs. I know going back to Fox, I think time will tell, and I really hope this team can get to the playoffs, really, because I'm sick and tired of us being left out of the dance.
Yeah. Oh, I get it. And, Spurs, I think Eddie made the same mistake, not the mistake, the same comment here as well about LeBron. LeBron's done. I mean, probably, I think we've got LeBron, if not retiring this offseason, after next offseason. So, yeah, Luka's the face of the franchise. I knew you weren't going to go forward with Anthony Davis. But, can Luka attract people to LA? Sure, he can. But the problem is are you going to get in shape Luka? Are you going to get Luka who's going to be able to play defense? Because there's really no defenders on that team. You know, LeBron, yeah, but I mean, LeBron's not exactly the greatest defender in the world anymore.
No,
He never really was. But I mean, I like the comment. I understand he's going to be the future of the Lakers. That's the reason why they made the deal. But Lee, man, I mean, honestly, I'm trading Anthony Davis. I'm leaving Luka in Dallas, and I'm asking for Derek Lively and maybe Kyrie and possibly even PJ Washington or something, and maybe a couple of draft picks. That's just me right there, to be honest with you.
yeah, I mean, look, Luka knows there's a lot of chatter about him, his weight, all this stuff coming with it. This all can change, Rudy, if he goes committed this offseason, and you look at him come game one next year, you're like, oh wow, like okay, this is a huge difference. He's got to put that time in. Someone like Joker, he's very different. He's the center. He does a lot of different things, but with a guy as much with the basketball in his hands, Rudy, and we see what's going on with Zion, right? We see what's going on with some of these other guys. It's just, hey, you gotta be in better shape, man. It's just,
Yeah,
you got to. What Luka does, Rudy, if he's 220, I mean, my God, he would be just running around all game. It's just, it's gonna catch up to you.
yeah, and I'm hoping Spurs hoops is right that Luka's going to lose the weight because now he's motivated. Well, he's motivated now. Wait till he gets into the off season. Can he stay motivated? That's the problem.
Well, Rudy, look, he's been in Texas, Rudy, and there's no mystery. Everything's big in Texas, right? So he's followed that up. Now going to California and LA, which is very health conscious city. So maybe he goes vegan like once upon a time Arian Foster did. So we'll see.
Yeah, that or he can hit you up for the diet that you were doing. You were doing what?
Well, dude, if he goes keto for at least a few months, he's dropping all kinds of, especially with his regimen. He also got money too for food, so
Yeah,
he should be fine. Or go hire LeBron's people or Tom Brady's people. Remember, Tom Brady had that TB12 or whatever that thing was, where I don't know, he was eating a
Luka
bunch
was
of
doing
salads.
Luka was doing keto in Dallas, like taquitos and all that other stuff.
Yeah.
That's what he was doing in Dallas. That's why he gained all that weight. Good thing he didn't come to San Antonio, because then we'd be getting Oliver Miller, Luka Doncic, and that's definitely not a player that you want to sign long term. He loves that Texas barbecue. That's what we're talking about, man. He does. You better watch that In-N-Out sponsorship, though. In-N-Out's already hitting them up. I can guarantee you on that. Chris Gonzalez, Bronny and Luka, the new Batman and Robin.
Bluetooth connected.
I have no idea if that would be Bronny and Batman and Robin, Bronny and Luka. That's I don't know, man. I don't even know if Bronny's a superhero. You have a superhero for Bronny right now? No? You hear me, Gio? You good?
Yeah, I do. Yeah, I don't. Bronny's terrible, Rudy. Well, he's
Robert Trexler.
he's played better in the G or the D or whatever that league is nowadays. But if LeBron's gone, Rudy, do they really have anything tied to Bronny? I think they just let him go.
Well, once LeBron is gone, Bronny's gone. There's no reason to keep him. So Bronny's gone as soon as LeBron's gone.
Yeah,
I would say so. There's a couple of tractor trailer. Ooh, Luka tractor trailer. That'd be a good one there. Harry Austin's in here. Shout out to Harry, man. Appreciate you joining us in. Spurs playoffs are the expectations. Yes, the playoffs are expectations, but right now, from what Gio and I said, and we'll reiterate this, we'll say it again. Right now, it's pretty much play-in guarantee. I mean, this team should guarantee a play-in spot. Get to the playoffs, we're pretty that more than likely they should get into the playoffs. I mean, just looking at the playoffs right now, are they better than Oklahoma City? Probably not right now. Houston, they should be better than Houston. Memphis, it's kind of iffy. Denver, they're on their way up, but still Denver has a lot of question marks. Luka and LeBron is number 5. Don't know how that's going to work, especially with no big men. The Clippers are still a surprise team. Those are your top 6. Are they better than those teams? I feel they're better than Minnesota. They should be better than Minnesota now. Are they better than Dallas? I don't know. I don't know yet because I want to see how Dallas works out. They are better than Sacramento. Sacramento kind of just cashed it in already. I think that. Now, is Sacramento going to be bad? No. They got Zach LaVine in return. They're still going to be competitive.
Yeah, I mean,
But
they can still put up points.
yeah, no, but here's the thing too. I want to make this super duper clear to Spurs fans. The De'Aaron Fox move, 100% A plus. Keeping Devin Vassell, Stephon Castle, A plus plus. You didn't mess with your core. That doesn't mean that the West is any easier. The West is still a gauntlet. They just became competitive enough to compete with those teams in the West. It's still a gauntlet. I'm not going to sugarcoat anything. It's still a gauntlet, Gio.
Oh yeah, no, it's still going to be tough to get out of there. And whenever they do, whether that's the next 5 or 10 years, still going to be a gauntlet. So right now, look, you're on your way. Spurs fans, don't expect a deep run into the postseason now. Kumbaya, the flags. No, just get in. But if you could have a favorable matchup, you play a Rocket team maybe on the first round. If you get in, the Timberwolves are an interesting team. Could they get hot? There could be a lot of jogging for position when it comes on Bronny's crib.
That's hilarious. I love that one. Yeah, I get what you're saying. If they just got to get in. So right now, let's just get them into the play-in, then work their way up to the playoffs potentially, and we'll see where they goes. The only team right now in the top 5 or top 6 that I have major questions about are the Lakers. That's it. That's the only team. Houston, I don't know if they peaked too soon. I'll say Houston maybe has question marks of, I guess, but they're playing so good right now. It's hard to question it. But right now, the Lakers are the only team in the playoffs technically right now that I question that a lot after that move. I think Anthony Davis was their best player. You got rid of him and you brought in Luka, but let's be real. Luka's not going to lose 40 pounds overnight. It's going to take some time. He's still injured. So
yeah,
what kind of chemistry
used to
there?
The chemistry, like Fox coming into a team that, look, he obviously makes them a lot better. But Luka right now at this stage, how much better they are with Anthony. It's like, okay, well, maybe this season could be a bit of a downgrade. So
yeah, well, for sure. And Harry's asking again, we talked about it earlier. Before we go, we'll talk about this again. Could they move some of the assets for another start this week? 100%. I don't know if it's going to be this week, but we did mention offseason coming up, summertime. You've got big free agents coming up in 2026. So if these free agents in 2026 aren't going to re-sign with their team, then you have those assets that are going to be available to other teams. And no, Harry, no, it's not a disrespect to you. Hey, man, you ask any question, we would definitely get into it. But we got you covered wall to wall, brother. Don't even worry about it. You ask every question you need to ask. No doubt we'll answer them here. But going back to it, yeah, they have a bunch of assets. You kept your core. So if you ever had to move a Devin Vassell, a Keldon Johnson to make it work money-wise, you still have those 2025 picks. You still have a good amount of first-round picks as well. So, yeah, I honestly don't think they're done moving, getting players, but are they done for this trade deadline? I'm going to say probably 55% sure they're done with this trade deadline, and they're going to kind of roll with what they have. But anything's option. Do you think they got anything else left in the tank before the trade deadline on Thursday?
If they do, it could be small. It could be something, a small trade with what, I've been making fun of Zach Collins lately, but, it could be a little bit of a small trade. Maybe Keldon gets shipped out and they added some additional pieces, but nothing, I don't think nothing too big. Now, could they surprise us, Rudy, and do another blockbuster? Hey, I wouldn't be shy against it. They can go ahead and do it again, but it could be a player that we're not even thinking of.
Yeah, like I said, the only guy I can think of that I would really make makes a whole bunch of sense as Jakob Pertl. They have enough first round picks to give Toronto that one big first round pick that Toronto wants. I like that move, man. Jakob makes 100%, makes 100%, it's perfect for the Spurs right there. So the Fox and the Alien coming to Disney Plus. Appreciate that, Eddie. Other than that, man, we were on here 20 minutes longer than I expected us to be, but De'Aaron Fox is a part of the San Antonio Spurs. Basically, they didn't give up any of the core. The best player the Spurs ended up giving up was Trey Jones, essentially. Plus, they were able to keep Atlanta's 2025 pick, which is huge. Plus, they kept their own pick. Honestly, the only pick that they gave up that wasn't their own was the 2031 Minnesota pick that's going to be unprotected. So, I mean, kudos to the Spurs. They gave up their own 2027 pick, but I think they have Atlanta's 2027 unprotected pick. So you're already assuming that the Spurs are going to be contenders by then. So you don't really have to worry about their pick when it comes to anything like that. Good stream, guys. Have a great night. Appreciate you joining Spurs Hoops. Again, guys, Sweep the League comes to you every single, Tuesday through Friday right now. We are off on Mondays at 9 p.m. So be sure to hit that subscribe button on our YouTube page. All you got to do is go to Sweep the League TV on YouTube, hit subscribe so you can join us every single time we go live. Coach Joe, you got anything left in the tank before we get off here?
I hope the Chiefs win.
Oh, Jesus Christ. You could not wait for the rest of the week.
I want the 3P. At the beginning of the year, I didn't want it because it was Chiefs kind of fatigue and it was just being a kind of bit of annoying. But now that the season's gone through, I want to continue to forget about Tom Brady. And if Patrick Mahomes does that, he's 3 away from Brady as a GOAT.
Jesus,
and I don't have to relive Tom's games against the Rams. So
at least you have a Super Bowl. At least you have a
two Super Bowls.
Okay.
And I was fortunately alive in both of those Super Bowls. Unfortunately, the other one was no touchdowns, but we don't have to talk about that.
Well, yeah. And you know what? As much as you dislike Tom Brady, I dislike Tom Brady for other reasons. And I'm not going to even get into it. We don't have time to get into this kind of talk right now.
Another note, I have, for the first time in a long time, Rudy, I'm getting a Samsung phone.
What?
So I'm going to the dark side, Rudy.
Holy cow.
Look, iPhone, they're marketing genius, Rudy. They're marketing genius. You know why? Because you know that green bubble that comes with Android?
Yeah.
They could actually change that if they really wanted to. But they don't. Because you know what happens when you tell someone you're going to the blue? They criticize you. Say, wait a minute, you're going to have that green bubble now. Apple is a marketing.
It bothers me.
It's a marketing genius, what they do. There's certain things that they could have done to change and make it a little bit more compatible between systems, but they refuse. So it's funny, my friend got an Android not too long ago, and I was making fun of him. So now I guess I'm going to be made fun of, and my family's going to make fun of me too. So,
wow. By all means, I'm going to be honest with you. I might end up going to Android eventually.
I don't mind something new, Rudy. I've had Android before. Last one was Samsung Galaxy 8, and now we're at the 2025. So something new. I'm going to have it for a bit, and we'll see what happens. But yes, I'm going to the green bubble side.
Well, you let me know when you go to the green bubble side, and we'll shoot out a mass social media alert for everybody to let them know that you have gone to the dark side, which is Android apparently. So, nonetheless, man, we're gonna be back on Tuesday at 9 p.m. We're gonna have more De'Aaron Fox news. See if anything does happen between now and then. We'll also get you covered as well as from the Luka Doncic trade, any other trades that come up. Super Bowl week is here, so Coach Gio, myself, as well as Derek Gervin, we're gonna be breaking down the Super Bowl. Gio wants the Chiefs. I want the Eagles. I want Saquon to get that first ring. He deserves a ring. So we're going to get into it this week. But for right now, we're going to let everybody go. For Coach Gio, it's Rudy Campos Jr. Until we sweep the league again, we'll see you later, Knuckleheads.